think about something so my faith would get back in check. Let me tell y'all, man, most of y'all may not know, but there was a time where I went into surgery and the enemy tried to kill me 2 times. But in the midst of my surgeries, I went home after I left my grandmother's house. The second one, I went home. And in the midst of the surgeries, I went home, and sometimes when I eat certain things, I didn't know I could eat. My stomach would not digest it correctly. So I would feel the same pain that sent me to the hospital. And I remember after the first surgery, I felt that same pain. And I called my mom. I was like, Mom, it's happening again. I know it's happening again. I threw up, and there was that pain. When you go through surgery, you know what that pain feels like. So fear began to get in my mind and in my spirit. But I called my grandmother and I asked her to come down I asked her to pray for me. And next thing you know, she got in the car. Let me tell you, this was when my mama was living an hour away from the church. And you know, Granny only stayed 5 minutes, 2 minutes upstairs from the church. So she left out of her comfort zone to come see about me. I didn't know what she was doing. I didn't know how far she was. All I knew that one moment I was in pain and the next I wasn't. So to get something in perspective for you, there's a natural thing that you're seeing, but in the midst of the Spirit, God is working. You may not be able to see everything that's happening right now, but this is how I know God was real. Because when the pain went away, I didn't know she was here. But 2 seconds later, the door rang. The doorbell rang. And it still didn't hit me until she walked in the door. And she said, how you doing? I said, I'm good. I don't know what it is. I was hurting 5 minutes ago, but I'm not hurting no more. So immediately when God reminded me of that point, when God reminded me of that time in my life, I wasn't hesitating no more. See, the enemy want to mess with my mind before I get a mic in my hand. Because if I'm down, But see, I done got a hold of something that was real. I done got a hold of something that raised me from a birth of a child. I done got a hold of something that was real. So we're gonna go ahead and get this sermon. But I'm going to tell you, it has been somewhat of a trying time. I got the sermon one day. I always like to get stuff, or at least work a week ahead. And I got the sermon one day, but then I felt like that might not be it. And then I asked the Lord, okay, give me another one. And I felt like that may be it. And then it was a birthday yesterday I wanted to go to, but something told me I need to keep on digging, and I need to keep on searching. So I really don't know how today is going to go. But let me tell you about somebody that's real quick. I've been experiencing this thing long enough to realize that if I don't have every word I need to say, I know that if I pray up, I'll be anointed enough. I done stepped up in the pulpit when I was not prayed up, but I had the words. It wasn't the same. But I stepped up in the pulpit and I didn't have the words, but I was prayed up. Baby, stuff got to right. So my dad, he left on. He was about to go to church. He's like, son, you coming? You ready? It's time to go. My mom doing a good job, better job of being on time. She was ready before I was. And I was like, yeah, we about to go. I'm ready. And I was like, God, I feel something still ain't holding. Something ain't right like I need it to be. And I said, God, if there was any time that I need you to strengthen me right now. See, I don't take a call from my leader lightly. I don't take when somebody calls you to do something lightly. I want to make sure I'm ready for this thing. See, so I said, God, I need to, something needs to happen. Like I need something to come my way. Oh yes. So I thought about the song that I always play on the piano, break every chain, Mississippi, probably tired of play all the time. But I told that I went back inside. I walked around for a little bit like I didn't know what I was going to do. We'll go on the stage. Sat on the piano. Hey, Mom, tell Dad I'm not coming. I'm going to ride with Caleb. I'm ready to do a little recording because, I'm not that good where I can praise and play and sing and, all that good stuff at the same time. It's either one or the other. But I've been in it long enough to know that I've got a recorder and I took the speakers. See, it wasn't my house. I had to take the speakers out hoping that, they wouldn't catch me. I didn't know if that was a no-no or not. But I had to get somewhere. I got the speaker walked upstairs. When I tell you, I put the song on and I started praying. I mean, the very level that I wanted to get to, we were there.
Yes.
See, so, I'm praying up. I'm going to get ready. We're going to find out what the Lord wants us to say, man.
All right.
Father God, we thank you for everything that you've done, everything that you did already. God, we pray that we thank you for already showing up and being. God, finish the work that you have started in this work. God, in the name of Jesus. Touch and save God, for your glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Now, y'all can be seated. I want to, when you preach after a while, you want to have a sermon that has some power in it, right? You want to have something that the people can connect to, so the praise is high and et cetera, et cetera. And I began to read, the word and whatnot, and what the Lord did give me. I was like, God, it don't feel like, I want something that's kind of, but this ain't that. Anyhow, there was a scripture in here that I've been studying and praying on, and so when I opened up the word, I knew that this is exactly what he wanted me to say. So, I don't mean to turn gears, but this is something that needs, obviously, to be heard, something that needs to be acknowledged, or a situation that needs to be acknowledged. Amen.
Amen.
Psalms chapter 82. Correction. Let's go Joel chapter 2. Verses 32. Say amen when you got it. All right, that was fast. Y'all like to read it. All right. It says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord has said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call. God illustrates in this scripture to me that he wants the world to know that there's deliverance in Zion. He wants the world to know that there's deliverance in the house of Jerusalem. But the question is, who really wants it? Let's put it as in an area that we can all relate to. So I'm not a parent, but I've been a child. Most of y'all in here are either a parent or all of y'all have been children. So we can relate. Let's tell a story. There's a kid being raised by his two parents, amen?
Amen.
And as he gets older, kids like to get into things. So the parent is nurturing him, instructing him, giving him instructions on what to do and what not to do. And the kids are kids, so even though they gave him instructions, look to your neighbor and say instructions.
Instructions.
Even though the parents gave the kid some instructions, he went to school and messed up and did not follow those instructions. So he came back home and told his parents he got in trouble. But the parents, they're parents. It's his first offense. It's not like, he went out and did something real crazy, but, it still was something wrong. However, they went ahead and just, gave him some mercy. Look at your neighbor and say mercy.
Mercy.
They gave him some mercy and didn't do anything, but just corrected him again, telling him, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that, etc., etc. But then he goes to school again. Oh, let's say the kid grows up, The kid grows up, now he's a teenager, young adult, etc., etc. He's going into life, and the same thing that they told him when he was a kid not to do, he ends up doing it again. So now the parents are in a situation where they realize that the child has taken the mercy for granted and it wasn't good enough, so now they have to go to different measures. And so now that, you recognize that the parent loves the child. So because they love the child, they whoop the child, they correct the child, they punish the child because he doesn't seem to get it after they let the first one go. But even after correction, after punishment, look at your neighbor and say correction.
Correction.
So even after correction, even after he got whooped, it seems like he still didn't learn the lesson because now he's a grown man. And he's still doing the same old stuff over and over and over and over again. So now we're in a situation where the parent has sat back and looked and said, we gave the man instruction, we gave the man mercy, he took it for granted, we gave the man correction, and he's still not listening. Let me put you to you in this perspective. Go to Psalms, what I wanted you to before, 81 and 12. Let's start at verse 11. I like that. It says, but my people would not hearken to my voice, and Israel would none of me. So I gave them up unto their own hearts' lusts, and they walked in their own counsel. So when the parents gave them instruction, he didn't listen. When they gave him mercy, they didn't take heed to it. And so correction is no longer working also. And so very much like you nourish us kids, God nourishes us in similar ways. So God is looking at us with the same eye or the same point of vision, looking at how he gave you mercy but you ignored it, looking at how he gave you correction but you decided not to listen to it, looking at how he gave you punishment not because he wanted to hurt you, but he wanted you to get the point and realize that I don't want you to go down this road. But somehow, some way down the line, that didn't even work. So now God has gotten in a position where, okay, they don't want correction, they don't want instruction, so I'm going to go ahead and let you have what you want. I'm going to go ahead and let you have what you prayed for. The thing that got you candy-eyed, the thing that you obtained so much, I'm going to let you have it. You want it so bad? Okay. And he's not doing it out of spite, it's because I love you. So I'm going to let you have this thing that you want. Let's put it in a woman's perspective. Let's put it in a man's perspective. I'm not a woman, so I'm not, So there's a woman there that God wants you to leave alone. But you keep on pushing anyway. There's a woman there that looks nice, got the candy paint, you know what I'm saying? They look pretty decent. And on the outside, it looks like there's nothing wrong. Because the woman ends up coming to church every now and then. Because the women know how to sing, she know how to do all these other type of things. But God say, I still don't want you to have. There's still something there that just ain't clicking quite right. But your heart, you want to go anywhere. So now you done found yourself in a position where you done married this woman, and now you're weeping and crying because this woman hard-headed. She's just like Jezebel. She's cheating on you with two other men. You want to get out of a situation, but you can't get out of it. And now it's been 10 years, but you're a rightful man in the church. And even though this woman is unfaithful, you know you can't divorce her. So you kind of, you linked up. You ain't. Now you're like, God, help me up out of this. Let's put it from another perspective. We got some, I've never been in a thug life, but I've heard other stories. Some people are so hard-headed that it doesn't matter how many cases they get free from. It doesn't matter how many situations they get delivered out of. They find themselves back in the same situation, and now they're in jail. But just like we do God, they do their parents. They say, why you ain't getting me out of here? Why you ain't helping me get out of this situation? Why you let me stay up in this prison? I know you got the money. send something. What is it called when they need some money? Put some money on my books. But just like the parent, God is looking at his children, and he's saying this out. I told you to move out of that situation. He's telling you, I told you to go the right way when you decided to go left. I tried to give you mercy, you didn't listen. I tried to give you instruction, you didn't listen. I tried to give you direction, you didn't listen. So now I'm going to let you stay here. Now I'm going to let you experience this road. So now we got that out the way, because I can't really stand when people are looking at God as some type of way. You know, maybe I do understand a little bit. I had to sit back and correct myself, but now that he gave me the lesson first, I really, it's corrected. But let me put it so you can, get the same understanding. Now you can stop looking at God side-eye. Now you can stop blaming him for your situation. Because when he's trying to give you instruction and mercy, you decide not to listen. And when you're in a situation, they say, where you at, God? Where you at? He's there all the time. So God is coming over and over again with Israel. He's coming over and over again with the church. He's coming over and over again with the people and with the saints. But it seems like we keep on going over the same old situation. We keep on going over the same old story. And I've come to the conclusion that people simply don't want God. I've come to the conclusion that they would rather have their suffering as long as what they desire to do. They would rather have the punishment as long as they get that good looking thing. As long as they get that thing that they want. There's a certain time where you need to sit down and gather your thoughts and make a decision. There's a certain time where you need to sit down, make a decision, and live with it. Because God wants to see you saved. He wants to see you delivered. He wants to see you set free. But he cannot have deliverance in Zion if Zion don't want to deliver. He can't have deliverance in Jerusalem if you don't want it. See, something about being real. When you take a stand for something, that means I'll take the consequences that come with it. God is a real.
Yes, he is.
Yes, God. Yes, God.
So sometimes people, curse his name, talk about his name, look at him side, etc., etc. But because he's real, this is his saying. This is my identity. This is who I am. So something that's not going to change is me. I am who I am. There's something different between man and God. Is that man change for other people, whether it's for better or for worse. I'm not knocking the change for better, because the fact of the matter is we're all born in sin. So if I don't change for the better, I'm on my way to hell. But many people are changing for the wrong reason. Many people are changing for somebody else, and this ain't the change that I want, because they want people to like them. They want people to accept them. They want to be in certain crowds. But the difference between you and me is I am not going to change. So you either accept me or you reject me. Therefore, if I'm going to say who I am, don't come back thinking that it's going to be different the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time around. You need to get in a position when you make up your mind you're going to serve the Lord. You need to get in a position when you're going to make up your mind God is who you are going to serve. And it doesn't matter what comes your way, I'll take the consequences. Listen, I understand that being saved ain't always the fun thing, because people don't like you, or you can't connect in certain realms, or you can't connect in certain groups, or you can't connect with certain communities. I get that. I am still young, but I take the consequences. Let me tell you, I don't want to get ahead of myself, man. There's so many young people here that's still in the world. You've been taught so many times, but you're still in the world. There's so many elders here that I've taught you so many times. I've put you through so much chastisement, and you're still in the world. I have told you time and time again, over and over and over again, and you are still in the world. What is it going to take to get you where I want you to be? What is it going to take to get you where you need to be? See, I would be a bad father if I didn't chastise you. I would be a bad father if I wasn't there. The fact that you got chastisement illustrates that I am there. Talk about a deadbeat dad. When I'm not correcting you, then you can say something. But now you can't say nothing because I've already corrected you and you didn't want it. So what is it going to take? What is it going to... We're going to sit here and preach to you all the time. But what is it going to take? It's going to have to be a mental decision between you and the Lord. It's going to have to be a mental decision with you and your own heart. This world is out here, always going to be out here. Ain't nothing going to change. If you think that this thing is going to get easier, it's not. You got to make your own mind up. You got to make your own decision that you're going to stand with the Lord. It's not like He hasn't sent you the word. It's not like you don't know what to do. You know what to do, you just not doing it. You know what to do, but you're not. But that's why God is so amazing. Because even when I couldn't save myself, even when I didn't want to save myself, He was there. He's the one that's putting you through this. And you think He don't feel when you are crying? You think He don't feel when you are in pain? You think He don't feel some type of way when I gotta see you be dropped through the dirt for you to get your attention? God feel all of that. And if I was a kid, if I didn't know no better and I had a child, I might have just said, okay, let's just go your way. Because I don't want them to have that pain. But a good father knows how to stand and not change. He takes the consequences. It's time for you to make your own decision. It's time for you to make your own change. Because while you're sitting here, taking another 20 years to make the right decision, there are faithful few in the church that's going to live the blessed life. There are faithful few in the church that's going to be saved, sanctified, and they're going to have everything that they need. See, I understand that you look at me. I might just skip the whole with the battle of Gideon thing and get to the blessed part. I understand that you're looking at the saved people and saying they cry just as much as I do. I understand that you're looking at the saved people and saying they're suffering just as much as I do. But let me tell you something, the difference between you and me. In Matthew chapter 5, verses 5 through 10 or 12, the word says that blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. It says, blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. He says, blessed are them who thirst and hunger after righteousness, for they shall be filled. And you want to know something? The best thing about it is that I don't have to wait until later to be blessed. I don't have to wait till later to be filled. I don't have to wait till later to be comforted. Because I'm confident right now. This may not have hit you. It ain't hit you yet because I thought you was going to hold on, man. Because one time Grandma began to speak the same sermon in regards to the Beatitude. And she began to get so happy because she realized that the word blessed is a past tense word. Therefore, I don't have to wait until something. That means I am blessed right now. Let's go back to the beginning. Yeah. So the word says that blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. There are people in this world that's crying over the same thing over and over again. And because they don't know Jesus, their tears can't be wiped away. Mothers and fathers have passed away. But because they don't know the Lord, they don't know how to let that go. People have betrayed them. Family has betrayed them, put them down. But because they don't got God, they don't know how to let that go. But the thing about the difference between you and me is, because I know the Lord, I am blessed and I'm confident right now. In other words, I don't have to depend on somebody coming from left field to come encourage me. I don't have to worry about somebody telling me something about myself. See, I know you looking at me like a cross-out. I know you looking at me like something confused. But the fact of the matter is, you don't know God like I do. You don't know the order of operation like I do. I might cry like you, but I'll be coming a lot sooner than you will. I might suffer like you, but I bet you when I go home in this closet, I bet you I come out differently. That's how a sanctified man or woman can come to church, knowing that a family member has stabbed them in the back, but they yet still come and pray. See, a lot of people think this is a mind control thing. They think that we're foolish because we believe in a God that we cannot see. But that's how you know somebody's just spectating. That's how you know there's somebody that don't know nothing about who God is. Because if they're here, they understand where I'm coming from. And then let's go to the next one. We talked about comfort. But the word says, blessed are them who hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Let me tell you something. I've been around a whole bunch of people that hate themselves because they got so much anger and don't know what to do with it. I've been in a situation where people don't know how to love their family the correct way, and they hate themselves because they don't know how to treat people right. There's a whole bunch of people that commit suicide because they don't know how to change. And the difference between me and you is that when I go to the Lord, because I know Him, I will be filled. That means I have a comforter. That means when I don't know what to do, He'll tell me what to do. That means when I don't know how to respond to something, He'll tell me how to respond. That means when I'm in a crossroad and I don't know the difference between the left, wrong way and the right, correct way, I have something that I can go to make the right decision. I don't have to worry about being angry all the time no more. I don't have to worry about pride destroying my family. I don't have to worry about selfishness and greed destroying the people that are around me. I don't got to worry about that because I'm blessed. Because I've got something that's down on the inside of me. I've got something that I can praise God for. I've got a spirit that'll keep me day in and day out. I've got something that'll cover me with His blood. So, the spectator can keep on looking. You know, the spectator can keep on being confused. You can keep on second guessing. You may see me sick, but one day you see me walk back up in here. See, this is how I can go through sickness and pain and not be afraid. But while you're sitting dealing with the same old worries and pain, you don't know how to let that go because you don't have a strong enough relationship with God to give you the deliverance. I said this part. And in the Battle of Gideon, they were talking about 300 men. And I was going to talk about how there was something commendable about these 300 men. God started with 35,000 men to fight the battle. But God, I think it's a common story. We've talked it so many times, we've got to go through it so much. So it's very obvious that God had to reduce the number of people because Gideon, or rather the people of Israel, would have been too confident. If God would have given them the victory with the 35,000 people, they would have thought they were the ones fighting the battle and they were the ones that won the battle. Why is this a concern? Because when you get to the point where you think you're doing it on your own, you find yourself thinking that you don't need God. So there may be one area where blessing God's folks with so much when you want it can be a hindrance, because when you start to get money and jobs, you think you don't need me no more. So we see that sometimes suffering can be a blessing for me. Sometimes suffering is necessary to remind you that you need the Lord. But that's not the point that I wanted to get you. I wanted to get to the 300 men, because one thing about the 300 men that He chose, they were a faithful bunch. They were a people that were not afraid. Even, do you understand how great the army that they were going to fight was? I'm not sure the exact number. If somebody does, yell it out to me. But maybe, I think it may have been like somewhere around 100,000 soldiers or whatever the case may be that they were trying to fight. They were already outnumbered 35,000 people, but now God broke it down to just 300 people. But even when God reduced the number and stacked the odds against them, they did not change. They remained, how did I put it before? They remained unquestionably, they remained faithful. They remained unafraid. And not only that, they remained committed. And not only that, they continued to follow instructions. Gideon gave each and every one of those 300 soldiers a trumpet. And he said, when I sound my trumpet, that's when you sound your trumpet. See, that the significance of the trumpet is that when the trumpet sounds, that is an indication that something's about to happen. That is an indication that the real battle, like the real fight, is about to happen. That's an indication where bad stuff is about to kick off. And I bring this point because it's important to realize, or rather I realize, that a whole bunch of people stay committed until the trumpet sound.
All right. You got it.
Yeah. So a whole bunch of people say they down for this. A whole bunch of people say they're committed to God. A whole bunch of people say that they're going down the holy road. And I'll do this for you, Pastor. And I'll do that for you, Pastor. But when the trumpet sound, where you at then? But see, the 300. When the leader sounded out the trumpet, they sounded out the trumpet with him. So there's some faithful people within the church that's willing to sound out the trumpet. So I come to tell you that you're not forgotten, but you're a faithful bunch that God sees. You're a faithful bunch that God has found you to be faithful. There's some of you that have down through the years found yourself, that or the pastor or God has found you to be faithful. God has found you to be dedicated. God has found you to be commendable. God has found you to stand in the gap when needed. When nobody else wanted to do it, that's when you stood up and decided to do it. Even when you didn't want to do it, you did it anyway. Even when you didn't think you were the best man for the job, you did it anyway. That's the faithful bunch. And I want to tell the faithful bunch that God sees you, because sometimes when your work goes for so long and people don't acknowledge the things that you do, it feels like it was all for nothing. But I want to tell you that it's not all for nothing. God sees your stand. When people walk out the church, but you still here, you think God don't see that? A faithful bunch. I'm talking about the bunch that know how to pray and get stuff stirred up. I'm talking about the bunch that know how to warfare when things start hitting the fan. I'm talking about when that trumpet sounds, I'll still be here. A faithful bunch. A faithful bunch, that's who's going to be blessed. And I want you to hear this, because I want you to be a part of this faithful bunch. I want you to know there's more than just suffering. There is beauty right here. There is deliverance right here. Just because you're in the world and you think you got something good, baby, you're going to feel pain anyway. So I want to remind you how good God is. I know when I'm letting go. I know when I'm sacrificing. I know what I'm leaving out. I know what crowds I won't be a part of. I know I won't be able to go on Beale Street on Saturdays. I know it's a whole bunch of laughs and giggles that I'll miss out on. But I'm good. Listen, ain't nobody over here crying because he's saved. Nah, I'm glad to be saved. I'm so glad. I'm so glad to be saved. You want to know why? Because I go to work every single day. People looking at me, how am I going to change this? How am I going to get out of this? Oh, but I remember I was in the same situation and God told me to wait. Why God didn't tell me that? You probably wasn't around for him to hear. Or maybe he told you, but you didn't listen. But the same man heard that and he decided to hold up a little bit.
Yes, yes.
Tell me why I'm glad to be saved.
Yes, God.
Listen, waiting ain't fun all the time. I still don't like waiting. Years. We're not talking about a couple days, a couple weeks, a couple months. We're talking about years. But see, you need to. I got in the Word and I looked at someone else that was going through the same thing I was going through. I looked at Job and how he was going through 100 times worse than what I was going through. And I checked myself because I saw that Job lost everything and he was still faithful. Didn't question God not one time. And I said, okay, I don't got nothing to cry. I don't got nothing to whine or complain about. I looked at David and I saw that he was in the wilderness. He tried to do everything he could for God. He made mistakes, but he got back to where he was. But yet he had to wait for God to deliver him out of certain things. And I said, God, I'm in the same situation. I understand, but I need you to give me a word so I can stand like they did.
Amen.
I read a scripture, and he said, God has dealt bountifully. David said, you have dealt bountifully with my soul, so I will sing praises unto your name.
Yes, yes.
I sat back and thought about that thing for a little bit. I thought about everything that he did for me in the past and everything that he was doing right now. I thought about the miracles. I thought about my mother.
Man, if I tell them about your dad.
Go ahead, do what you gotta do.
I thought about my mother. I don't know how many of y'all know this, but if it wasn't for God, we may have been praising the Spirit, but it wasn't going to be the Spirit of the Lord. My granddad was born in Africa, so the Spirit that he knows, the God that he knows, ain't Jehovah.
That's right.
He's one that worships in Satan. He's one that worships in the devil, and he knows it. And so one day, my mother loves her family. She goes to see him. I don't really know him that much. I've seen him maybe once or twice. And my mother went to go see this man and talk with him just like family do. And he began to present the same spirit that he knew to my mother. My mom was, I don't know how many years she was in church, maybe 2 or 3, I'm not sure. But the fact of the matter is they had a conversation. And he began to tell or testify of the God that he knew. He began to tell them about the spirit that he was worshiping. He began to tell about the spirit that he knew was real and tried to get her to accept the same spirit. And as he began to tell her, he said, I want to tell you this, but it's certain stuff I just can't tell you right now. And my mother said, why you can't tell me? Just tell me right now. She had that sense of curiosity. Look at your neighbor and tell you curiosity will get you killed. She began to ask him, what is it? Just tell me, I want to know. But this is what the man that was demon possessed was. She told me that she saw the demonic spirit get in his body. And he began to. But this is what he said, being demon possessed. He said, I want to tell you, but if I tell you, the thing that's in you is going to kill you.
That's right. That's what he said.
If you understand that, give God some praise.
Hallelujah!
See, we sing a song that God will put more on you than you can bear.
That's right.
If he would have opened up his mouth and spoke to my mother being a babe in Christ, she would have heard the things that he was saying. And she would begin to believe the things that he was saying. But God saw the situation that she was in. And God spoke to the demon that was in this man. And he told this man, you better not open up your mouth. He told this man to reach the limit now. I think it's Andy Fat, the one that said the devil can only do so much. I begin to think about that. I begin to think about how the enemy was this close to killing my mother. Because if he would have got to my mother, he would have got to me. And if he would have got to me, he would have got to my little sister. And if he would have got to my sister, he would have got to my brother. But I went back and I thought about that. And then I went back and I thought about me getting I thought about how I should have died on the airplane. I went back and I thought about how God delivered me. I thought about how God set me free. So when I read the scriptures that God has dealt bountifully with my soul, even though I don't like waiting, God, I will wait. I will wait as long as you need me to wait. I'll wait and I'll cry out and I'll tell your people. What am I missing out on? What am I missing out on? I'm missing out on a couple of hoorahs. I'm missing out on a couple of celebrity days, a couple of holidays where I get a couple of drinks in, where I get a couple of laughs in, I get some alcohol and have some fun. I got that. I'm missing out on that. But when I think about the love, see, when you get a part of this real thing, there's a whole bunch of fake stuff that's out there. There's a whole bunch of authentic love that's out there. People tell you that they love you, and I'm telling you they're telling you the truth. They love you. But I found out that there's some love I just don't want. I found out that there's some love that I just don't want no part of. And this is love that you telling me, I'd rather you hate me and walk away.
Amen.
If this is love that you're telling me, I'd rather do without that. I'm good. But when you get a part of something that is real, something that is unchanging, something like agape love, you don't walk away from that. You don't second guess that. You don't let that go. So when I think about the real love that I know, it's easy to let that stuff go. It's easy to make the responsible, the right decision and say, I'm going to kick back with the Lord today. Give God some praise. So I'm not sorry, but I don't mean to. You can win. You can win. You can get the victory. There's a beautiful thing that God wants you to have, and you're a part of that. And you can get that. You can get that thing that you see other people got. That's attainable for you. That's ordained for you. That's created for you. You can make that decision and take that. You can do it on your own. You can walk alone and still be glad. You can walk alone and be happy. Let me tell you, when you get so strong in God, walking alone don't even feel like it sometimes. There was a time frame I was in Mississippi and I was living so happy by myself. And it wasn't until family and other friends and people came down and stuff started hitting the fan. I gotta tell you because you don't know how good it is. I gotta tell you because you don't know how it feels to have something that is there for you at all times. You don't know how that feels to have somebody wipe your tears away. You don't know how. You got it's better. It's so much better than what Satan is giving everybody else in this world. You're going to be saved and you're going to be glad you were saved. So I thank God today because He puts us in a good position. You're right, a good position. He puts us in a position where we realize we just got to make a decision.
Amen.
The ball is in your court.
Yes.
Listen, we're going to come here every Sunday and sing. We're going to come here every Sunday and be in this pulpit. We're going to come here every Sunday and preach the word. We're going to come here every Sunday and pray. The 300 are going to be here and they're going to keep on praising God. The 300 are going to be here and they're going to keep on doing whatever you called to do. But it's time for the spectator that's looking to make the decision. It's time for you to make that decision. See, it's a good position because ain't no question in the 300 no more. It's a good position because ain't no question in Gideon no more. Ain't no question in the pastor no more. Ain't no question in God no more. Ain't no question in the minister no more. Ain't no questions. Ain't nothing you can say no more. And it's a good place because you need to recognize authority. Because when God speaks, that's when everyone else shuts up. There's a scripture in the Bible that when God stepped on the scene, even the dog's mouth closed. It's a good position. Because we're going to be here. We're going to keep on being beautiful.
Amen.
I'm saying that with so much confidence. Because I'm one that can look in the eye of adversity and say, I'm still going to be here. I'm one that can see that there's going to be pain if I make this decision, but I'm still going to do it because God asked me to do it, and I'm still going to be here. See, pain don't make me afraid anymore. This is what happens when you get in a position of authority. And I'm not talking about a position where I can tell you what to do. I'm talking a position where I got enough God in me, where I can tell the demon that I'm not afraid of you anymore. So yeah, I'm talking about that type of lifestyle. I'm talking about the lifestyle where you get enough anointing, where you can pray and see your family saved. I'm talking about that type of lifestyle where you can get so much anointing, where you can pray and think that out of order and get back in order. I'm talking about the type of prayer where you pray and changes things. So you're fighting battle in the natural realm, but who's going to fight this battle in the spiritual realm? See, on a battle of Gideon, you saw men fighting with swords, axe, or whatever the case may be. But there are angels in the midst that's fighting the demons, that's fighting with the enemies on the other side. So I want you.
Yes, God. Have your way, Lord. Come on, preach. Preach.
The church ain't got a game. You just got to make a decision.
Yes, God. Thank you, Jesus.
Jesus.
Yes, God. Yes.
We know we're okay when God continues to. I'm going to leave it at that.
Amen. Have your way, God.
The 300 keep on being beautiful. Keep on praising God. Keep on singing.
Amen. Amen. Yes, 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 yes,
I understand stuff get hard sometimes. It's challenging. But keep on.
Have your way, God. Yes, God.
When stuff don't go a certain way, we acknowledge that there's a problem. But the 300, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say it without saying it. You keep on doing what you know you're supposed to do.
Amen.
Pray my